Welcome back, everybody, to the WardiTV Christmas Invitational number 6, Group C. As we have this on the new balance patch in the top right corner of the map. Our Blue Zerg player from Onside Gaming, currently 2-0 in this group. It is Solar. Bottom left, our Red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. As we enter this best of 3, guys, just a reminder that this will be an important one in this group. Solar is 2-0. I mean, basically, Solar, Clem, and Coretta all 2-0 or 2-1. Mio, Micah, and Geralt. Clem did lose to Coretta. That series very close. Clem did take a loss there. These 3 are guaranteed to get out of the group, Solar, Coretta, and Clem. It's a question of who gets the seed straight into the round of 8, and what else will happen there. So, a lot going on, a lot happening. As do you have a Reaper starting up from Clem to begin with. It's just getting that underway. Starting to rally it out. And Clem just going to have the SCV running out to the middle of the map as well. It's just on a little bit of a journey over there. As we do have the adventure to the top and set up to rumble. Overlord will be spotting the SCV. Drones get down to the natural, hatch gas and pool about to finish. Marines on the way, and the Reaper will begin to wander out to the center of the map. And that will be his first port of call. So obviously, TvZ on the new patch, really hoping we get to see some of the new stuff between these two, right? I mean, these are 2 players that can absolutely see the late game against each other. When we talk about the late game in this new patch, what we're talking about, maybe even the Broodlords being seen. Their you know, move speed is higher now. They're actually more mobile. Broodlings aren't as effective. If Solar gets aggressive, Ravagers could be a question mark as well. I mean, pretty much all of them units get affected in ZVT. Viper cast time on Abduct, the ULTRAS size. These are all things we could see throughout this game. We'll also see the Ghosts with the less effective snipes because they actually cancel at a certain distance. Not sure we'll see Clem open Cyclones or Banshees at all, but maybe we'll see a sneaky Raven in here. Costing less, building over less time. Could be something he sneaks into some of the builds. Clem does sometimes play a Raven in modern patch TvZ as well. You know, usually like 1 Raven and like 8 to 10 Hellions harassing. I might see that a little bit more as well. I think that's one of the things in my eyes we'll see a lot more of in TvZ. That Raven just fits in a lot more nicely than a lot of the time before. Creep Team and Ellie going down as the Reaper just about escapes away. More Hellions coming through. CC about to finish. And a few Queens and Link Speed all coming up on the side of Solar. Banshee is building as well right now from Clem, so Ellie and Banshee the opening. Do not think again that this will necessarily turn into like a you know, some kind of crazy wild Hyperflight Rotors or anything. This is just going to be Cloak and Banshees on the way up. Drones going down. Queens will drop a little bit of creep just out down the right side. Hellions and the Reaper continue up, and just going to be seeing the Queens getting there. Pushing those Hellions away pretty much immediately as our Marine needs to punch this Overlord through into the main base. A couple more Hellions finish up. And that Banshee going to pop out. Overlord will get to grab that, or get a sight on that. He's not going to be able to do too much on the other side. Just get halted for the moment. Spores, flare, drones all continue to produce. It's going to be seeing the Banshee up the right one more time. And again, we do have that Cloak coming in eventually. Clem actually shows up pretty quickly with the Banshee. Queen's coming back around. Just going to be seeing the Hellions punched away there. Again, Cloak about to finish up. Couple Engineering Base coming up. Evo Chambers coming through. And a Nest on the way as well. So all of that continuing to set up here. The Hellions just get there. Creep Spread takes a bit of damage. Actually do have ourselves the Banshee We'll try and get this Queen. Queen taking a lot of hits. Queen is going to go down, so the Banshee's delivering while the Overseer wasn't ready, but we do lose one of the Banshees. We have a transfusion for that Queen. No? Wow, none of those Queens had energy for transfuse. That was moments away. And now like, all of them have a transfusion available, so Clem at least gets a second Queen, but like I say, the Banshee, you know, losing one, and then the other one obviously not looking so hot. Not exactly ideal, as our Banshee will continue to take some shots here. The Queen and the Spore together, pushing the Banshee around. A couple SCVs come in. We'll begin to repair up the Hellion. So, bit of repairing being done. Failing speed on the way up. Hydrogen will go down as well on this natural expansion. I'm just going to be seeing the extra Lings producing already, so a lot more on the way out for the moment here. Now for you Queens. I'll just peel back to the center of the map. My feelings in the center. We'll get rid of these rocks. Just opening up the map a whole bunch. A couple of creep tumors out across the left-hand side. A little bit of creep down the center as well. Down the bottom right. And the Marines will get rid of a Zergling. Just going to continue over to the right side with these couple of medevacs. Lings, 6 drones. Again, just damage. Waiting to be done by this army of Clem on the edge of creep. Even if it's just clearing out some of the creep spread, right? You'd imagine that's something he wants to start doing sooner rather than later. The one Banshee is going to get back on the map as well. Spotting like a base up here is actually a pretty good job for this Banshee. It's actually just going to spot run-bys for now. I wouldn't mind just spotting the base. Sometimes you grab the drone before it builds. Sometimes you got to cancel on the base before any units get there to protect it, so just a couple of reasons to maybe make use of this, as Clem has to lift up and back away. The Ling Bane getting there quickly enough that Clem doesn't really have a chance to bring the Hellions back forward. We are going to try and use this as a chance to respread the creep, and that's what the Hellions are going to deny. 3 of the 4 new active tumors get picked off immediately. And that's, I mean, amazing. It really does slow down that creep spread, which, yeah, is nerfed a bit in this patch as well. I don't think that's anything we've really noticed at all. The creep spread has looked no different in any of these games we've casted. So yeah, I don't think the creep nerf is truly significant in any way, shape, or form. It's it just doesn't seem to be making much difference anywhere, right? Big surge of Lings down the right side, Banelings as well. Just going to be seeing our Marines, Halberds, tanks coming forward. Just going to start picking our way through the rocks. Ling Bane around the bottom side, single Ling moving down. We open up the rocks here and just going to be able to stem forward a lot of creep spread. Beginning to go down as our Ling Bane Hydra will continue forward. Tanks will be sieging. On the other side of the map, it's a huge amount of Ling Bane that's going to come flooding forward and try and target fire down some of those Banelings. Clem is returning home. It's the right call, because trying to base trade a Zerg like this just doesn't usually work. You lose too much of your production. The Zerg can get their own production going again. I like coming back and dealing with this as Clem did kind of let these Lings back into the main base, though. And then a lot of Marine tank on the upper right side. Just going to see those Lings still there to fight against some more of these SCVs. Do have our Marines continue to trade out wherever possible. Just going to be seeing tanks popping out. 18 workers went down, and now actually do you see that Solar's making a bit of a play on the rest of this Marine tank before Clem gets back over here. Overall, Clem's supply is better, especially army-wise, so he might still have something to get done in this case. This is actually going to be tough for Solar. You can't fight this, right? But the Banes need to be protected. He gets 6 of his Banelings finished. That's not exactly a lot. Losing an Overlord, Banshee just going to chip away and deal whatever damage it can. And Clem mostly with Marines, but a couple of tanks starting to reappear here as well. And as we are going to see, man, boy, I mean, Solar needs these extra Banes to finish. They are about to. The first round of Banes just got blasted. And Solar actually engaged into this at all. Down 30 army supply. 60 to 90 doesn't seem like enough. Clem has the Concave as well. Another tank gets sieged. The Banelings just are not reaching a single thing. And Clem is going to get rid of everything here, punching his way through. SPEEDY HYDRAS made no difference this time. A good counterattack from Solar. I like the idea of it, but obviously just lost too much and then didn't do enough cleaning up after either. And that, my friends, will be GG's in Game 1 of this best of 3. Idea, I haven't seen the games. Yeah. Are you asking me to tell you things I have no idea about, you know? I've been here casting games. How would I know what the other score was? Bottom left side, a blue Terran player up 1-0 with that big push. It is going to be Team Liquid's Clem. Top right-hand side. This is going to be from Onside Gaming, Solar. Clem takes a 1-0 lead. These two have really traded matches as of late in online events. Solar, what does Solar beat Clem in our tournaments? That WardiTV 2022, that's Solar 3-0'd Clement. No, that was something else. Hang on, guy. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research here. Apparently, I can't remember any matches I casted recently. What did Solar and Clem play? Ah, the Alima League. Yes, Alima League. I forgot I did Alima League. Yeah, that was a 3-0 for Solar, but then Clem had beat him 2-0 the time before. They went 1-1 in World Team League. In general, Clem, I think, is, yeah, been pretty back and forth with Solar over the last year or so. Been cool to see. Did Tasia resign? Yeah, Tasia stopped playing. Tasia was weird. He came back, and then he like had a couple good matches, and then just like decided to quit. Like he came back but didn't really play much. But then when you did see him, he would actually be surprisingly good. But then he quit. So I don't really know what happened there, you know. SCV making its way down the bottom left. Couple queens, few lings on the way in. Factory building from Clem. And that's set up as the SCV just comes back home for the moment. Early game. Nice and peaceful. Should probably be watching the Reaper dancing with the lings. Sorry, guys. Let's just replying to a question from a player. I'm like, you know, once the games are done being played and we're just covering the replays, I'm like, man, it's gonna be chill. Players are messaging me like, hey, when do I know if I advance? And I was like, I don't know. I haven't watched the game. I appreciate the day's been stressful for everyone. Okay, we just need to calm down, chill out, calm down. We'll have a little bit of Ellie. Ellie, do you want to make a little stream appearance quickly while we have some early game TvZ? You do? Ellie, you gotta stay still while the camera... She is terrible at showing up on stream, isn't she? Honestly, she has such, like, stream shyness. I point the camera at her and she's already, like, running away. It's incredible. Alright. Fusion core from Clem, guys. This is very different. A fusion core. Alright, so. A fusion core on the way up. We're going to get the starport over to the tech lab. We can begin a battle cruiser very soon. Is there any world Clem plays mech, guys? Is there any world Clem plays mech and tries out the new cyclones and stuff? Well, the changed cyclones, not really new, but the change to the cyclones. We did have one mech versus a game in this tournament in the previous group in Spirit versus Ratatas. Actually a really great mech game. He used the new cyclones and their lock on and their mag field upgrade. And it was actually, yeah, it was a cool game actually. Very cool. As PC was online. I don't think there's any way we play mech really, so we are just gonna start the stim pack up. That's gonna be seeing the Hellions and the Reaper of Clem coming back over the right hand side. There is a building here from Solar. Just getting that up and online. The few Hellions at the front, a couple of Queens get here pretty quickly. I've seen a couple more barracks already producing from Clem back at home. So yeah, single BC into bio. BC basically just becomes like a harassing tool that's just an annoyance repeatedly throughout the game. Obviously, if Solo overreacts and plays into this thing and it's mech, then that can be very good for Clem, but If I was Solar, it'd be more likely that he just assumes it's bio after the BC, and then he played, you know, and then Clem playing mech would be what caught him off guard. Here's our battle cruiser. 2 queens in position straight away, but no spore cores. Just missing a bit of the damage needed to truly push this BC away quickly. There's going to be quite a few drones you can get rid of here. Clem gets rid of 7, 8. That's a pretty good start for the battle cruiser. 8 drones almost immediately. Bit of damage on the queens, but most are just going to get out of there. How many queens were left to defend against the Hellions? Enough as well, so... The first 2 queens just being immediately in position really did help. That's going to be 8 kills for Clem still. Still nice. And he is looking to try and catch this 4th base from coming online, but it gets there and meets the queens, doesn't quite find the drone that was on its way over, so that should be placed now. And it's a Hydra Den on the way from Solar. Very quick Hydra Den. No Bane Nest into the Hydra Den. Wow. Huh. Wait, there was a spawn in the main? Oh, there was a spawn in the main. Well, guys, that's probably why the BC actually went down to half HP. Turns out queens aren't actually as... You know, I'm such a Terran player. Here's me watching what I think is just 2 queens fighting a BC, and I'm like, yeah, this seems normal. Queens are so freaking good, they can easily get a BC down to half HP. Meanwhile, there's actually a Spore Crawler there, which deals a bunch of the damage. Yeah, typical Terran player thinking queens are more OP than they are. I'm sorry, guys. Hands in the air. He caught me guilty. Red-handed. I thought the queens were being OP. Yeah, my apologies. They were just mixed. The Spore was just mixed in there. And I miss so. Thanks for calling me out. Hydras continue out then. So like I said, the Bane Nest was a bit late, but we're going to get a Hydras pretty quickly and easily, and then we're going to have the Bane Nest can start Bane Speed now. I don't think this is anything particular, minus just the fact he saw the chance to go to Hydras straight away, so I guess why not? Huh. I was trying to think if there's any real reason to go kind of like to delay the Bane Nest, because like you do still miss Bane Speed for a while here. I guess maybe just the fact it's the BC means that now you've got the Hydras to help you against the BC showing back up from pretty much the start, so probably makes it a little bit better. And BC is, of course, still alive and on the map, so it's up over here. Just going to scan and get rid of some group spreads here. I imagine if like the Hydras were just spawning now, then you've got to still deal with this with Queens, so yeah, you just see the opportunity to get to Hydras, and it is going to work out okay for Solar, so it's a good call in the end. It's going to be seeing a Hydra actually going down. Obviously, the Hydra's not quite as effective as Aspire, kind of pushing that BC back, but this is also not a BC. It's not multiple BCs, in which case you probably almost always need Corruptors. It's not going to have Yamato either, so it's not going to find insane value every time. As long as the Hydras are roughly pushing it away, you're generally doing enough to keep yourself in good position and to put yourself in a decent spot throughout the continuation. As a hatchery will go down on the 5th base, just going to get that started up. Roof Spine's coming online. Just going to see our melee upgrades, Bane and speed, all of this coming through. Morling Bane will be producing and rallying out the front as well as some of it runs back up into the main base. Infestation Pit about to finish, and these Marines still collecting on the Watchtower. Just come through, just going to take that Watchtower straight away. Again, more of this Ling Bane. Queen Force just coming down into the center. The 5th hatchery coming online. All this coming through is... I'm just going to go zipping around. Is this the wrong mod? The Hydras look so fast on creep. I'm pretty sure I hosted this game on the 2nd PC, so I don't think it's the wrong mod. They are pretty speedy though. So unless the mod got broked in the recent update to it, I guess, maybe? Question mark? Well, I've hosted the wrong mod all day. That'd be awkward, wouldn't it? Queens on the bottom side again, blasts the tanks take position, Clem on the push. Can you see the speed of arm? Move speed 4.2 plus 0.92. There you go. Is that, tell me, is it broken or not? 13 SCVs go down, counterattack coming in. As the BC is going to be used as counterattack defense, Clem's still just carving a path through the middle of the map. Oh, a few Banes actually do manage to get through there, though. Over on this side, we do have our Marines able to get rid of a few more of those links. The counterattack's fully dealt with. 13 SCVs. Doesn't seem too terrible, but it has slowed Clem down, right? And it's going to keep some of his reinforcements back, and they give Solar more of a chance to then clean up this army in the middle. The tank's very nicely pre-split, just in case of a fast hive and a cheeky little Viper or two already showing up. trying to minimize any effect that the blinding clouds might have. And the feeling still continuing forward here. The Banes coming in as well. I'm just going to see a couple of the Hellbats up in the front and tank a little bit of that damage, but it feels like Solar still holding on with just plenty of stuff here, right? 185 to 174 supply at the moment. Just going to be seeing our HYDRAS backing it up a little bit. Another tank will siege, and in we go. Lingbane Hydra from two different sides. In we rumble. First tank starting to go down. Our Marines split backwards. All of these Banes continuing to drop. And as the HYDRAS are going to come off creep now and continue to chase forward as well. It's going to get rid of that siege tank, and Clem going to get pushed all the way back. The Marines is going to be able to kind of run back and get going to the center. I mean, still rebuilding quickly, though. Is Abduct still viable? Yes, Abduct is still viable. Need to at least see it this patch. Yeah, it's probably just a case of the game's not really getting there. This is a situation where I think building Vipers would probably be helpful, but maybe isn't fully necessary. You can see Solar's investing into getting to Lurkers. If he gets to Lurkers, he's probably going to feel much better for himself in general, as we are going to see. Lingbane coming through, the Viper coming by. Here we go. Parasitic Bomb's going to be the choice initially, so just wants to deal with the medevac. Clearly feels like he's got the ground under control, which he does. He's killing tanks as they siege. And Clem is just not able to get enough at the front, make enough progress at all. More Marines, +3 attack upgrade on the way out from Clem. Just going to be seeing the Lingbane Hydra going to come back around the top side. A few of these Lings is going to get across there and pick off a Marines. Just going to nab that. Adaptive Talons on the way as well to give us even better Lurkers. Honestly, at this point, I'm surprised we don't even just have a few Lurkers already out now. It actually feels like a situation where you could probably just get a couple. I'd say a couple, like 5, 6. Doesn't have a ton of Hydras. Yeah, he's going to morph into the 8 Lurkers. Yeah, morphs all his Hydras into Lurkers. I think that makes a ton of sense. I think it's, yeah, like I was saying, it just makes sense to me. It felt like it was the time that you could get the Lurkers out. They already had their Seismic Spines. They're going to kind of finish with Adaptive Talents now done, so I guess he did just want that mobility. Yeah, I mean, it was getting to that point. If Clem was already attacking again, I actually wouldn't have minded just seeing the Lurkers a bit sooner, I guess, just defensively, but he was not attacking, so it doesn't matter too much, as now here we go with Solar making a push forward. What's this Viper want to do? Looks as though not really much of anything. This was a bad attack in, just sort of move commanding through. The Lurkers at the same time, though, show up on the other side. Clem's going to go running at them with Marines. He needs to try and spread around. He has almost purely Marines that are coming in to answer these Lurkers. Honestly, I feel like Solar... Okay, I understand, obviously, why he's, unburrowed them there and tried to get them out, because he probably didn't see the flank from the top, but actually, if he knew about the flank from the top, leaving them burrowed might have just done disastrous damages. Yeah, they still did very well. 20 SCVs go down here, and this base gets busted down, and Clem is losing control of this game. Now, he does have a 30 army supply lead. So Clem has a very good army supply lead still, and that's pretty much what he's got to use right now to try and end this game. He's not really teched up to play against the Lurkers, so as more Lurkers come back online, that could be Clem's biggest weakness. He's split as well, and I'm not sure his army's necessarily big enough or scary enough to be split. I feel like I'd almost prefer to just all be together and just try to fully overwhelm, These Lings going to show up. This is where I feel like everything being together would be neat, although you can also see the benefits it's gaining from having been split. Broodlings from the buildings will fall back as a bunch of drones went down here. Drones are not really the immediate issue for Solar, especially now he's knocked back down to 4 bases, which is one of the big benefits that Clem has. He's on 58 SCVs, so Clem's economy is actually not far off of Solar's, and army supplies do start to even out a little. I'm just worried that Clem never has any tech coming online to really deal with these Lurkers, right? There's no Ghost Academy down, ready to play. I feel like if he just had a Ghost Academy, he might start adding in some Ghosts, then I'd feel okay for him. Might slow the game down a lot. Obviously, definitely would slow the game down a lot now if you want to build the Ghost Academy, then start building Ghosts, etc. +3 armor upgrade still coming through, +3 melee, and +2 missiles on the Evo chambers. A couple of Lurkers burrowed up and defending this right side. And again, those defensive Lurkers are, I think, the best thing that that Solar has right now, because Clem just has no way to easily push into Lurkers. Like, the tanks can be good against Lurkers, to be fair, but pushing into Lurkers is always going to be difficult, and with tanks, they're better at kind of dealing with Lurkers that try and run into the Terran player that are being used aggressively. Clem actually has a lot more tanks than I thought he would. This is going to come up here. It's 2 Lurkers. I mean, that's engageable in my eyes. I thought there'd be more at this point. We're going to see the blinding clouds coming down, so that's what the Vipers are going to put their use to. That's amazing as well, because without those blind clouds, this would have been troublesome. And Clem is backed up against the wall, so the banelings connect into clumps of Marines. HYDRAS coming through, chasing these medevacs away down to the south side. 147 to 127 supplies. Solar just about leading here, but a lot of Clem supply are medevacs flying around empty. And with a bunch of energy that they have nothing to really use on, here comes a little bit of bio, at least going to force Solar back. Solar will have to rebuild, get ready to go again. Clem's still building a lot again, 58 workers. Doing pretty fine for him on the 4 bases. He still maintains. He scans top left. Good scan to have because he sees this base coming down. And he knows that that base is in mind. So he gets a realistic tell as to where he's at in the game. And in terms of where Solar is kind of playing from at the moment. What kind of position he's in. Man, those 7 extra lurkers are brutal though. That's something that Clem just doesn't really have an answer to right now. And they're about to morph in right here. And they're just going to run into range. And yeah, this base might go down though. So this base will fall. Going to flood forward with Lings again. Good blinding clouds on top of these tanks. The tanks on the low ground now trying to get in. We actually have an abduct. That Viper wasn't really being pulled back away from anything, so you don't really see the abduct change there at all. Again, the abduct itself isn't changed, it's just how quickly the Viper can move after abducting. So if the Viper's just stood stationary, it doesn't really matter at all. We'll see 12 Marines and a couple more tanks coming through as we are going to see Lings trying to flood into this bottom base. Tanks will siege, Libs will siege. It looks like for the moment Solar doesn't quite have enough to continue chasing into Clem territory. So Clem can push him away one more time. And this one lurker is looking for a bunch of kills. Little splits from Clem to try and save the day. With some of these medevacs to use, but his medevac count has been brought down quite heavily. And actually now I'm kind of missing those other medevacs because, well, yeah, the energy would go a long way in keeping this army nice and full of HP while trading. Siege tanks, 3 of them right now. That's obviously a big deal as well. Losing the tanks on the right side makes a big difference. Lost 23 tanks this game. You can see the army graphs has just been up and down and up and down. That was a big bad loss for Clem before, and he's trying to rebuild off of that. It's going to be tough. Coming down this ramp, he gets caught unawares as well. Only 1 tank got sieged out of everything. Again, if you're resetting the tanks, well, it's going to be very hard for Clem to keep on fighting. Parasite bomb will land. He's going to get a couple medevacs off that at the very least. In fact, he's going to get the GG off of that. Solar is going to take game number 2. We are tied up 1-1 in this best of 3. And we are going to be going the distance in this best of 3 series. It's Waterfall for the final map, so you gotta like the map already for Clem, although, yeah, you know, Solar happy to play kind of a later split game scenario sometimes here. Might be good for him. We'll see, we'll see. In the bottom left-hand side is Clem. Team Liquid, Terran. Starting us off. Top right. Red Zerg Solar. Thank you again, Duda Reno, for the 14-month resub before the break, and also thank you so much just now to Roy's D01 for the 3-month resub. Welcome back, both of you. Much appreciate. I'm just taking a moment to catch my breath, guys. Again, sorry, I've been very ill over Christmas, and I've just had a very bad cough, and it's really worn me out. So just getting caught back up from. Sounds silly, but a little worn out from venturing over the toilet. Just coming sitting back down. I'm feeling so much better right now. Still have a bit of a cough. That's why I'm sometimes muting randomly and stuff as well, but. Good, at least, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to cast the last 2 or 3 days. I didn't have anything scheduled to cast the last 2 or 3 days, but I wouldn't have been able to cast anyways. If you guys heard me casting the Christmas Day games, the last use of that, I was starting to die in it, and that was like when I really started to kind of get a little bit, so it got worse from there, apparently. COVID? No, it wasn't COVID, it was just a cough. Not everything is COVID, guys. But don't just, you know, if someone's ill, COVID! I feel like that's the response every time at the minute. COVID-20, yeah. Reaper coming across the map. Couple Queen 6-lings as we establish ourselves here on Waterfall. 6-lings because it's a shorter map, so you just gotta be a bit careful about this Reaper, which comes across real quick. Did everyone who traveled to Home Story Cup end up coming home sick? Yeah, I didn't even come home sick. It took a few days to hit me, so... yeah. I don't know. But a lot of people ended up sick after Home Story Cup, though, so... it makes sense as well. Like, even if, like, you're not passing on, like, you know, illnesses at Home Story Cup between each other, like, you're going from, like, outside it's, like, -6 degrees, and then inside you're, like, in a bar full of people all day, and, like, you know what I mean? It's, like, much warmer. Like, it's, there's not exactly great temperatures for staying healthy in the first place, you know? Anyways, into our StarCraft. Enough of that. It doesn't matter. Point is, I'm getting better. That was my point. Let's just see our Reaper gonna get grabbed. So Clem, an unlikely loss there, right? Not often that Clem will come through and lose a Reaper like that. I mean, that was just super unnecessary. There's a couple of Hellions going to be popping out of the factory. Starport is about to finish. Now third CC coming online, so pretty much what we've been seeing before. We are going to see Solar with an early Roach Roar, and we'll see how aggressive he wants to be with that. Solar, a pretty heavy fan of playing just kind of Roach Ravager 1-1 on this map as well. I'm already playing into a Banshee will be a pretty good setup against, obviously, because, you know, just having the Banshees as constant damage output against a Roach attack would be pretty freaking huge, so that will go quite a long way to help. Hellions out down the bottom, Roaches and Lings continuing up. We do see the Cloak coming up on the Starport, and a few Hellions just around the left side. Overlord into the main base, try and see what's going on. Let's try and nab that Overlord. Obviously, Overlord getting a full scout, though, so Solar fully aware of what's up. As the Roaches come through the middle of the map, already getting rid of a Hellion or two. The Lings will come around the right-hand side, and, well, Banshee trying to start putting some work in. Obviously, the Ravager morph time is increased, guys, so this is a 12-second timer on the Ravager morph. So it will take just a little while for the Ravager to morph in. So usually the Ravager would already be here joining its buddies, and now obviously it's took a lot longer. So that is definitely noteworthy, as we are going to start seeing SCVs going down here. Hellions to push the Lings back as well. 5 workers lost. Just going to have this one Banshee helping to clean out as well. I mean, 11 workers lost. It seems, I think this is just playable on both sides, no? 13 workers, you still have the Hellions and a couple Banshees alive. More than anything, this might come down to what the Banshees can do, right? Because now if the Banshees can counterattack and get, like, a lot of damage, then I think Clem's in a good spot. If they just counterattack and do, like, yeah, pretty normal damage, right? You can see Solar already having to build spores, etc. Then this should kind of turn into just kind of a pretty even situation, I think, right? Like, the lair is obviously a little bit later for Solar. Yeah, he's kind of where he wants to be with drone counts. Yeah, I guess Stim's a bit fast for Clem as well. Yeah, it's playable, though, right? I wouldn't say this is necessarily, like, super heavily favored one way or the other. Kills like this are nice, right? Anything you can do, just slow down the drone count after what's happened here, and just slow down the setup of Solar into a more normal, natural game. I love this, just ping-pong between bases, finding different drones that are just out of the reach of Queens and Spores. Right now, these Banshees going to push that look a little bit and get some damage onto Queens. Gotta be careful, though. One of them is very close to dropping. 6 drones died. Still keeping about 15 workers ahead. We've got a few Hellions here. Obviously, creep spread is starting to come out onto the map. Not enough Hellions to really keep track of that too easily. And Solar will go Evo Chamber. Not Evo Chamber. Baneling Nest and Spire. I'm looking for Evo Chambers, as he's just going to play Ling Bane after this, so not into a continued Roach style. Now, I guess our next question mark is this second Medivac popping out, and can Solar deal with this wave of aggression from Clem? Actually looks pretty good for Clem now. Looking at the army supply, I actually do worry a little bit, so... yeah, obviously this is in part, obviously the Banshee's helping as well, because the damage those Banshees dealt forced the, you know, Zerg to build 6 more drones, which is a little bit later set of Lings, for example. As Clem does have Stim here, Combat Shield kicking, Combat Shield's not going to be kicking in yet, but will be in about 40 seconds. It's going to stop at 4th base, and just make sure they clean up a bit of creep. And the Banshees are going to go back on the map. Didn't even grab a repair. I guess maybe the Banshees just want to sit here. If the right side army is keeping the 4th base away, he just wants to check the 4th base is in the top left, which it is now going to be. So I think it was actually a pretty smart move from Clem. A pretty good little look across to see what's going on. And, well, the drone actually got there and decided, no, I don't want to be a hatchery over there. He's going to build the hatch over here. This hatch is hard to keep alive because the Terran just pushes up this left side, has this avenue to camp in. It becomes a very difficult push to stop. So I think this base is almost always preferable, harder for the Terran to push into. So yeah, makes a lot of sense to just take the other 4th instead if you do get the chance to. Don't understand why they don't nerf creep. Everyone agrees it's OP, even Zergs. Because the game is balanced around creep being OP. That's the issue. You know, you've had years of balance updates based on Zerg players being very good at creep spread. The entire game falls apart if you just nerf the one thing everything else was built around, right? Creep did get nerfed in this patch, I see people saying as well, but like honestly not very much. It's been very, I wouldn't say it's been very noticeable, the creep spread differences in this patch and the PTR we've been trying, so I mean, it might be more noticeable than I'm giving it credit for, but it doesn't seem to be too crazy. Anyways, these mutas show up and they deal damage. 15 SUVs going down. Boy, does Solar need a bit of something. This is actually great because now he's getting rid of Marines as they spawn as well. So these mutas are just going to camp in the main base. And this is actually a big issue for Clem. He's going to go back to losing SCVs. Now he's pushing across the map. This is a choice from Clem to come across the map rather than turn him back home. He needs to do serious damage ASAP here. There's a ton of Ling Bane. That's terrifying to be playing against right now as Clem. Because pushing into all that Ling Bane isn't a guarantee. And I actually think Clem's going to have to leave with, what, cancelling a 4th hatch? Yeah, I mean, Clem needed to kill a 3rd or kill some more drones or something right now. This just puts Solar into a lead. So, Solar, an incredible set of mutas. 25 workers. Loses a lot of them and loses more of them now as they escape up the left. But, yeah, I mean, delayed 4th, I think even with the delayed 4th, you're kind of pretty happy here as Solar, right? I mean, the damage you did with these mutas was monumental. Let's see, I mean, you can't lose the 4th again, perhaps, right? That would be really bad, but... And can you lose the 4th again? He cancels it here, he has to give it up. That's going to be what keeps Clem in the game a little bit. If it wasn't, you know, if Solar just had a standing 4th base mining, Clem would probably just get outmassed and, killed off pretty quickly, but... Yeah, only on 3 bases, it does limit what Solar can do, and it means that Clem's economy is still, pretty much within reach of the Zerg. There's a lot of these drones of Solar that are oversaturating and not really having as much effect as their supply may suggest. So Clem definitely denying the 4th base keeps him in it. The question is, was denying the 4th base instead of just coming back and dealing with the mutas properly initially the right call? Because obviously if he just never let the mutas do this much damage, he might not have even needed the 4th base cancel. So that still kind of came down to the initial choice. There's the double expand now, going to try and make it difficult for Clem to stop both the 4th bases from coming online as a missile turret. Hits the mutas a little bit, and the mutas continue to knock down these depots. Supply blocking Clem and also making openings for Ling run bys a bit later down the line. Clem gets through for cancel on the top left, but it's the right side base that's still building. So again, that just continues to happen as Clem makes his way back. Can't imagine these mutas are going to be letting themselves get caught off guard. Somehow we'll have a bit of a lead on the 2-2 upgrade timing, but not sure that's enough to necessarily take it all the way home just yet. It's coming out the right side. Just going to be seeing the mutas coming through. Missile turret firing a few mutas down the south. Marines actually getting rid of a few of the mutas. Main army over here. The tank's not really siege for Solar coming down this ramp into him. 2-2 upgrades against 1-1 in favor of Clem as well. I mean, this feels like the fight Clem wants, minus the tanks not being sieged. Yeah, I mean, this was kind of, incorrect on both sides, I guess. Obviously, Clem, Solar fighting before 2-2, but then Clem not ready for the fight, not sieged up. Solar's going to try and swarm him right now and just overpower him with sheer numbers. Mutas are going to get rid of a lot of medevacs. A lot of them are already super low HP. We knocked down the siege tank. I don't think we have enough to go through into the mineral lines. There's too many Marines still for the moment, but we'll get a couple of SCVs on the exit as well. And this muta count only at 9 now. It's going to get rebuilt one more time. What's resources lost at? 13k to 12k, so it's actually pretty close. Solar not trading too badly and mining a decent amount now. He's got a fourth base online. That's a big deal, right? Scans here. Clem seeing that the fourth base is online. Drop a fifth hatch down on the right side too. And Clem just doesn't have as much pressure as he had before. And now these meters. This might have been a bad call. Going for this turret that does not go down. Good repair from Clem. And he is going to keep himself alive and kicking on this base. 3 SCVs lost, but it came at the price of the meters. So that's kind of okay when you're looking at it from Clem's point of view. Want to come back in. We do have on the right side a few more banelings starting up. I think Bane would like to come through here, and in we begin to go. At least we thought about going. So barracks all just coming up from Clan, a couple extra widow mines and marines. Marines gonna get a little active on a few of the mutas. He's still playing well, and the Ling Bane counterattack's great too, knocking down depots over here earlier, enables attacks like this to continue. Boom, straight through, Marines and the mine go down. This Widow Mine just hits a few Lings. Depots at the front taking damage. We push up the right side, Hatchery will go down, the Broodlings fall. The rest of the mutas just continue in as well. It's going to turn onto a missile turret. The Banes are continuing by. This Ling Bane force will come on through, and just going to see these tanks sieging up. Marines trying to get the hell out of there. Yeah, Clem getting wiped, and that's going to put a bit of a dampener on this situation for Clem, because he's losing his natural expansion as well. These Banes, go roll at these Marines, guys. These Banes could have been the answer. I mean, if Banes and Mutas actually fought into that position at the same time, I actually think they would have done fine. It's just the Banes sitting there, then the Mutas couldn't take those Marines on their own. And now these Banes are still being chased. Oh my god, we're going to lose the Banes anyway. No! Not like this. Not like this. That really was worst case scenario at the end of the day. ULTRAS Cavern coming down in the top right side. We do have the Mutalisks from Solar on the left. Guess what? Gonna go back into a base here. Or shut down reinforcements. Either or. I mean, take a pick. These Mutas have been fantastic from Solar. They've been truly incredible. And I mean, he's constantly in what feels like the right place with them. As we are going to be seeing the Lingbane defense setting up. And guys, we're seeing the Ultra Cavern too. Remember, those Ultras, the little tittlers now. They're just cute little Ultra boy babies. And they will have a little bit of a better time chasing down Bio as well. So transitions like this for Solar will be more powerful on this patch than on the current live servers. Marines from stemming up. The Lingbane going to go and hide up the ramp a few moments. Medivacs do a bit of healing. First Ultra on the way. Chitinous Plane on the way. All of that coming up now. What did they change with Ultras? Just wait until they pop out, mate. You are gonna, you're gonna find them pretty cute. Put them that way. So they changed the size of the Ultras, and they also changed the... I can't remember what it's called. It's basically the distance at which... The distance at which the Ultra can attack from. So it can deal with chitin units more easily. I forgot what it's called exactly. It's like the catch range or something. Or the range slop? Yeah, there you go. So basically, it can't like start to attack and units move out of range of it, and then its attack's like, oh wait, it's not in range anymore. So that's been edited a little bit. Where's our first Ultra? Where's baby Ultra number 1? Hello! Hi guys! I feel like we need like a little bit of like, you know, high-pitched like...
Oh my god, hi, I'm an Ultrask. Hello. Oh my god, I love being a little baby Ultrask, it's so good. Oh my god, I'm gonna go nom 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 on some bio units.
You know, like, Ultras used to be like real like, now they're just like cute little ooze. Mutalisks just gonna come across and just gonna go jump onto a Widow Mine on the right side and clean that up, which has been blocking a base. Clem, I mean, honestly, doing okay base-wise, right? He's onto base 5. He's spread out defensively. They're both max. This is absolutely a game. I think the biggest issue we have here is there's no late game setup for Clem, which is maybe fine still against Lingbane Muta first round of Ultras, but I would love to see a Ghost Academy at least starting to come online, right? I get worried about Clem playing this game for an extended period if he doesn't start to get Ghost. I mean, we're still building Mutas as Solas, so there's still a kind of trade that can, game that can go back and forth and trade just back and forth repeatedly. Here come our little Ultras charging from the back. Charge, Ultras, charge. Oh, yeah, here we go. Gonna nom some of these Marines up. Well, the Ling Bane does get turned away eventually. The defensive position is pretty darn good. I'm just going to be seeing Solar backing away to get some reinforcements going. Resources lost now is starting to go in Clem's favor. Income has obviously been in Solar's throughout. That's kind of all the typical signs of what's, going on in the TvZ. That's exactly what's meant to happen. Just going to hang around over to the right. Just going to be seeing our Bioforce of Clem back down the left. I'm just going to drop another command center in. Plus 3 melee upgrade coming in on the Evo Chamber, and just going to be seeing our army pushing into this high ground. Ultra coming through, Ling's coming by, Mutalists want to come in as well. It's going to be seeing the attempt to grab perhaps a missile turret there. Again, just Solar trying to keep this base from coming online. Clem's going to launch a counterattack over here, but Solar's in position as well. Well, he was in position. He just ran off to go and attack this base. He'll turn around, though. Clem can lift these units into medevacs and escape and go elsewhere if he needs to, but there are mutas, remember, so drops are not endless annoyances. One of the big benefits of playing a mutalist count against Clem, because we know how good Clem can be with the drop plays. So, yeah, moments like this just get shut down once, and this really did nothing at all. I mean, it brought the army back, which allows you to get in position on the left side, so it didn't do nothing at all. But, in terms of, like, damage on the map done, yeah, not really much in that regard. There we go. These Ultras looking to see if they can actually get involved in the fight this time. In they go. They're going to start fighting. First one going to drop pretty quick. Of course, even just being able to tank for a little while is pretty great as the Ultras continue through and just going to, really help to clean this up. I mean, they all die, but so does everything, really. I mean, on both sides, Solar and Clem really both getting reset here. Solar has a few extra units showing up. That's maybe enough. The mutas in the sky might be the one thing that can't be answered. A couple of Widow Mines! Friendly fire, yes please and thank you. Mutala's going to now be able to continue chasing with these Lings. The medevac count just got completely reset. CC on the left side will go down. And just going to be seeing our Ling Muta back over to the right. Some extra Banes will morph in. Just going to be seeing our Bioforce collecting together as well. Everything joining up for Solar. Can he keep this going? I mean, this is still a very close game supply-wise. Widow Mine going off, not doing too much here. This Widow Mine should only get a few Lings. We do have the mutas diving for it again. It's just pure Ling muta from Solar trying to win this out right now. Because like Clem just isn't quite rebuilding enough units at any point in time. We even have round 2 of ULTRAS being made as Solar, is going to eat a big Widow Mine shot here. At least Clem pulls back, letting the Marauders do some of the tanking. The Banes still find their way to the Marines, however, so not all going to be decided here as our mutas are back out into the center. Mutas will sit overhead with this Ling Bane force still morphing in underneath it. 3 more Ultras are producing, and this Bio Army of Clem comes back out the left side. Tricky 2 Widow Mines going to walk into a mineral line, and this is fine. Casual 13 drones killed. Love it. Widow Mines. We don't need to change those, right, guys? Alright, Bio coming back through this rich Vespene gas base under fire as Clem's still fighting to take this base of his own on the left. I'm going to say, Solar's just traded well enough that I'm just going to need to mine out his bases entirely at this rate. Oh, that Widow Mine was burrowed for a while. Here we go, the Ultras are back. Here they are.
Charge!
Ultra's going to go wild and just have... Okay, I really need to just not do that middle of a sentence. Holy crap. GG, oh good. I'm really glad this epic series ends with me yelling charges and ULTRAS. Yeah, okay, cool. GG's. Yeah, crazy game actually, right? I mean, insane Mutalists from Solar. They did so well, they got so much done. Fantastic stuff through and through. GG's, and that's gonna be